Hello, everyone, and welcome aboard the Starship Arborea. I'm Commander Exorcist, and it is time, once again, for Talk Go Tuesday. This is my weekly Elite Dangerous show where I pick a Galnet article, read it, talk about it, primarily from a lore perspective, but I will break the fourth wall if necessary. Not sure how much necessity we'll have to break the fourth wall today, but we'll see as it goes along. The article we're going to talk about today is very interesting because in times past, believe it or not, there used to be a point in time where Galnet was largely fluff, where you could read Galnet and there were things that were happening in Galnet, but they were not always translated into the actual universe itself. It was like reading kind of parallel stories or experiencing parallel stories. So you would have the experience in game, and then we would have Galnet on the side that would talk about political intrigue and a lot of these things that we never really saw. If you did see them, say you had some political intrigue that was going on in the Empire or the Alliance or the Federation, and if you did see it, it was over time, and it would be to the point where you'd have kind of this like little squabble between minor factions, and then boom, there's a community goal to support one of those two factions because somebody fired a shot and now they're at war. And so that was a lot of what we used to have. The Thargoid War changed a lot of that, and it really made Galnet an invaluable resource for understanding what was coming. That was when we started kind of digesting these articles a little deeper and looking to see what was going on and trying to decipher from the content of the articles what's coming next in the universe. And today is no different as we take a look and ask the big question, is the galaxy healing? Well, let's take a look and see, because according to Galnet, 6 months have passed since the battle for Sol culminated in the destruction of Titan Cocijo. With the alien threat repelled, communities across the core systems are beginning to rebuild economies, infrastructure, and hope. You can imagine the immense amount of fireworks that were launched to celebrate the destruction of Cocijo, in addition to Cocijo going up herself in a massive ball of caustic flames. So, it's been really something to see the galaxy kind of bounce back from the terror of, what do they call them? The Lurgy lettuce or something. So, this is pretty typical, and I've talked about this in a couple of different videos, so it's nothing new. But, we are in a period of post-war prosperity. So this is the time when, all of the, or as I say a lot of the resources were poured into the war effort, and so you had all these people that were fighting, and there was so much going on, so much directed toward the Thargoids, and now that they're gone, a lot of those resources can be redirected to other things, and so we're seeing, colonization efforts. Yours truly even invested in colonization. I have my own star system where I kind of direct my operations from now. If you want to visit us, we're in Call 285 Sector TON B21-1. My headquarters is the Apostles Lighthouse. And so, it's pretty typical for any civilization post-war to experience a time of growth and recovery after this, especially after a major victory like this. Stations which suffered caustic devastation have long since restored full services. Local economies have bounced back and in some cases flourished thanks to the recent wave of new colonization efforts, and we talked about that. Not only are we getting restored economies from damaged star systems, from damaged star bases, we're seeing new ones pop up everywhere. There are thousands and thousands of these new things that Brewers initiatives have allowed humanity to undertake. So that's pretty cool. This is really so far what I've read, it's all good. This is all good. It's not fluff necessarily. It's a rare mainstream media praise for the spirit of humanity. I don't buy it. I think something's coming. Across the bubble, both small ceremonies and large public events have taken place. Memorials for the dead, celebrations of brave pilots who engaged the alien threat, and spiritual guidance in the aftermath of common occasions. are common occasions. A memorial beacon deployed near the remains of the Titan wreckage installed draws visitors from across the bubble, a site representing both a crucial victory and a tragic loss of life. If you haven't seen or heard the audio when Cocijo arrived in Earth orbit, I urge you to check it out. If I can remember to, I'll try to put a link in the description to a video showing that audio, because it's horrifying. Like, it really is legitimately terrifying to listen to the screams and the cries of people that were being attacked when Cocijo arrived in Earth orbit. And so, the victory lap is deserved. It really is. It's important that humanity take this moment and recognize that it is capable of doing great things, and it is capable of taking care of themselves when necessary. Sociologists note a wave of immigration from systems heavily affected by the war. That makes sense. I wonder if it's a balance, though, because you're going to have people that would be immigrating away, at least residentially, from those systems, but there's also opportunities for work in those systems in terms of rebuilding. That's assuming the minor factions and the corporations in those systems are going to rebuild. So I would expect there'd be some immigration into those war-torn systems in terms of rebuilding efforts and recolonization. So that's interesting. Many displaced by the loss of homes and industries have chosen to begin anew, joining colonization efforts in uninhabited systems. There's pain in starting over, one settler interviewed at the Cinemat, an Orbis station recently commissioned by Commander Stellar Cartographer in the HIP 18085 system. But there's pride too. We've survived. We're building something better. Okay, so I'm assuming that's a real commander. Congratulations on being in Galnet. That's pretty amazing. And congratulations to FDev for reaching out and engaging with the command community like that, because that's neat. That really is neat. That shows the impact that individual colonization efforts are having on people. And so, you're going to have people making these kind of decisions all the time. You got people that are going to be sticking around. There are some people that they love nothing more than a challenge to go into, say, one of these devastated star systems and help rebuild from the ashes. And then there are some people that want nothing to do with it. We're like, hey, you know what? My home was destroyed. Our station was damaged. I don't want anything to do with this anymore. So I'm moving to a completely brand new star system where there's nothing, no ashes, no ruins. We're going to start completely fresh. And so I kind of like that. I was trying to think of what I would do in this situation. And I think largely it depends on how connected I was to the place that I was in. So let's say that maybe I didn't build the place, or maybe I didn't have a major investment in the economy. But if it was my home, and it had been my home for so long, and I had the opportunity to rebuild, then I would definitely consider sticking around. I really would, because I'm a little bit sentimental when it comes to those kind of things. So yeah, but I don't know. It's kind of a hard one. What would you guys do? That's a good question in the comments. If you're still watching the video and you're paying attention, if your star system or star base or your home was attacked by the Thargoids and you had the opportunity to move to a new star system and start fresh, what would you do? Would you take Brewer's offer or some commander's offer and join a new colonization effort, or would you stay where you're at and help to rebuild your home? What would you do? Well, Aegis and the superpowers continued to monitor for new Thargoid signals. Humanity's victory in the Second War showed a rare sense of unity against a common enemy. So I'll finish this out and then I'll say what I gotta say. Commodore Morayo Orina, good lord, of the Federal Navy summed up the mood at a Sol memorial service. The fight for survival revealed our flaws, but also our strength. We honor those we lost by choosing to live boldly. So I'm going to get on a soapbox for a moment, because I get so exhausted listening to the constant bashing of humanity. I don't imagine that there is a species out there that has been conditioned to hate itself more than the human race. I just don't understand why. We are so focused on the negative. We are overly hyper-focused on the negative aspects of our species that we tend to forget the capacity for good that we have. Case in point, an example would be you build 10 houses and something terrible happens with one house. And the 10 that you built before, it doesn't matter. You do 10 good acts of service, make one mistake, something happens, and something bad happens. Nobody cares about the good stuff you did. It's always the bad. And, you know, that's not to say that there aren't bad things that happen and bad things that people do or bad people. But, you know, we are so heavily focused on the bad that I'm willing to bet there are people out there that refuse to celebrate the Thargoid victory. And you know why they do that? Because humanity kind of started it. And they'll say, well, we started it. We shouldn't be celebrating. Yeah, we started it, but we have a right to celebrate the protection of our species. And, you know, we should be, because I think that when the Thargoid War started, I don't think that humanity really understood what was going to happen. I really don't think so. And so, you know, when we punched the bee's nest and all the bees came out to attack us, you know, we learned a lesson. But how do you tell an enemy that you can't communicate with that you've learned your lesson? Sometimes you have to bring some devastation their way. And everybody learns a lesson. And so, you know, throughout that conflict, humanity was able to pull together, make immense advances in not only weaponry, but in just general technology, things that have made life better for everyone in the galaxy. And so, and people have come together for colonization efforts, and there's unity in places that were not there before. A lot of times it takes something bad to happen for humanity to see the good in themselves. And for those of you that are doubting, trust me, there is good in humanity. There really is. There's bad, but we always focus on the bad for the moment. For the moment, we're going to focus on the good because there is good in humanity, and this is a testament to it. The new colonization efforts, building again, growing economies, growing new families, new alliances, Sirius leaving the alliance. There's all kinds of good things about humanity. And I think that it's very important to let you know that it is okay to celebrate the good. It is okay to celebrate the will and the strength and the positive aspects of the human race when it has earned it. And by God, with the end of the Thargoid War, we earned it. Hey, everybody, these are the Disciples. If you would like to support the work that I do on this channel, like this video, subscribe to the channel, make sure notifications are turned on so that you don't miss any of the Elite Dangerous content that I create on this channel, and go to CommanderExodus.tv and pledge your support. Would love to have you as part of the team. And that's going to be it, everybody. This was kind of a this was a good one. I like this. And what do I think is coming? I think there's more Thargoids coming. That's what I have to get out of this. I said this is not puff. I don't think this is a puff piece. I don't think it's fluff. I think that this is an indication that they want people to think that things are better and things are okay and the galaxy is healing and it's all great. Nope, it's not going to be that way. Thargoids are coming. It's just a matter of time. Watch your back. Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm Commander Exodus. Take care, fly safe, and I will see you out there.